Hanging out with ESPN great Duke legend Jay Williams. Jay Will, my friend, I know you're joining us on behalf of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. We'll get to that in a second. First and foremost, I'm watching you every weekend on game day. I need some of your excitement because I keep hearing that the men's game this year doesn't have the big storylines. What are we missing in men's college basketball heading into the tournament this year?
So I was joking with some of our guys. First off, Fitzy, I love you, man. I
I
miss
love
you.
you too, buddy.
I mean, we always rocked out. We have fun together. We just talk life, music, sports. I mean, it's the best. So I just want to say that to kick things off. What we're missing is, look, I keep leaning into Dalton Knecht. I keep going back to this song by Drake and Future, I'm the plug. This dude is the connect, right? And one of the biggest stories in college basketball that, frankly, I wish people knew more about. People know about Zach Edey because he's a 7-footer. He plays for Purdue. But let's be honest, like, that doesn't jump off the page to a normal fan. Like, a normal fan can't relate to being 7'3", 7'4", 350 pounds. Like, I couldn't relate to Yao Ming, which is the reason why he was the number 1 pick. I was the number 2 pick. I don't want to be salty, but you understand where I'm going. Okay. But what they can relate to is like a guy like Dalton Knecht that last year was nowhere to be found. Right. All of a sudden had a 7-inch growth spurt that all of a sudden now is like becoming the face of college basketball. Plays for Tennessee. Tennessee plays an in-your-face style that's gritty. It's aggressive. The level of physicality is heightened. And this dude just has swag. And frankly, he's the best story in college basketball that I don't feel like fans know about. So for them going into the SEC tournament, they're one of the darlings of our sport. And I hope to see them in Phoenix for the Final Four.
I thought it was wild in the game against Kentucky that they just had no answer. I mean, they were just, Knecht was coming down. At one point, he had, I think it was 2/3 of the points in the first half. Nobody from Tennessee could make a shot. And Knecht's over here saying, no worries, I got you. I will pull you up. I will lift you on my shoulders. That's the sort of moment where we're reminded that sometimes, Jay, like you can have an individual great that makes an entire team better from just that one player.
I mean, you got that. And then on the opposite end of that game against Kentucky, like, you'd be shocked, Jay Fitz. Like, when I go down to Big Blue Nation, I have people, it's time for us to fire Calipari. I'm like, who are you hiring? Like, I don't understand. John Calipari was just with Drake and Future the other night. He's the most relevant college basketball coach there is. And frankly, like, he's tuned in. You have 2 lottery picks that are coming off the bench. You have Rob Dillingham, top 15, Reed Shepherd from Kentucky, top 10, that are coming off the bench. And frankly, this team is hitting their stride at the right time. So you got a lot of incredible storylines. You got Duke basketball, and John Shire carrying the helm for Coach K. I mean, I have to get my guy, Kyle Filipowski, to stop tripping people. Let's be honest. It reminds us too much of Grayson Allen. There's so much hate there. We got that. They're hopefully, we're going to see North Carolina ACC tournament. North Carolina's playing at a really high level. We got UConn, Danny Hurley, who's one of the most passionate, foul-mouthed individuals there is in the sport, but he'll always give you ammunition. His team is top to bottom, the best team in college basketball. So there's a lot of incredible storylines, and this is the time of year that fans need to start paying attention to it so they can win some money in their bracket, because it's all about the passionate fan. And as we know at Coke Zero Sugar, fan work is thirsty work. So let's make that thirsty work make us some money, Jay Fitz. That's what I'm here for.
Look at that plug. That is seamlessly, by the way, perfectly done by you. You mentioned Filipowski in the trip. As someone that played the game, how would you fix court storming in college basketball?
I mean, it's easy. And here's why I get angry about it. Because in college basketball, we're always looking for what's our differentiator, right? We are pro sports. As much as people want to say we're amateurism, we're not. Like, you see that trophy there? Like, I should have got paid a couple of $1 million for the John R. Wooden Award. Like, there should have been a rev share of my university where they could have, shared in that revenue with me for helping me achieve that. Same with the Naismith Award. Like, same with winning a championship. There should be some kind of rev share that we appreciate. So how do we keep showcasing why our sport is unique and different? And court storming is okay if universities were to invest in, first off, the proper security around the court. Like, Jay, like, when I go to some of these arenas, you and I are you're a fit dude, bro. Like, we talk about this all the time. We're at ESPN back in the day. It was like, I can't see a dude that weighs 315 pounds with a yellow jacket on that says security. Where are you moving? What's your foot speed like to actually make somebody feel secure? It's not existent, right? Or, a younger lady who's there who's extremely lean. It's great that she's there, but she's not stopping anybody. But when you go to some schools and you see that the program that's coming in gets what the protocol is before the game. If our team wins, here's what the security parameters are around your team. Here's what our 30 security guards will do to escort your team off. Here's what the flow of traffic needs to be like for your team to make sure that your players are in this area. Here's the funnel. They should know where to run. But when we don't set the right protocol and then the kids break the barriers, that's where you're going to have issues. But frankly, that's on the university. That's on the university. It's their fault. They're the ones taking the fines of $25,000, $100,000, and they have pictures of these things on their walls to showcase from a marketing collateral how great their school is. Well, just invest $20,000, $30,000 for the right protocol for the programs to get off the floor to be safe. That's all you have to do.
It's so interesting because I'll go back to my touring days. We used to have drills on the road. A lot of people don't know this, where you would sit down with security and they'd be like, okay, if there's an incident, here's how we get off the stage. Here's where everybody goes. Here's where, and there were times you'd walk out in some of those big festivals and you'd see the people that they'd hired and you thought, man, we're screwed. Like if things don't go well, this is not like, I can only imagine. And at the end of the day, that's the thing that you and I have talked about so much. Like these college basketball players are still out there to do a job. They got to feel safe getting on the court, being on the court, and getting off the court. And even looking at the women's game, when you've got a family member hopping over the bench to get involved, I don't think that's good. Like we could talk all day long about who that person is, but it only takes one person that has horrible intent, and all of a sudden the game will never be the same. Lives will never be the same.
And Jay Fitz, what is fan short for?
Fanatic.
Okay. So like, it's the same reason I'm here on this campaign. Like I'm literally doing a TV commercial for Coke Zero Sugar and my face is painted because when I'm watching the game, I'm cursing out the game. I'm yelling at the TV screen. I'm pacing. I mean, I'm stressed out. So to get a fanatic in the building, they're not thinking correctly. And then if you want to combine that, like I've had grown men saying absurd things to me, yet alone a college kid who's been tailgating for 4 hours. They need to be told what to do. They need to see that, okay, there are property security parameters around that. Do I really want to take on this dude who's 6'9", 275 pounds? Maybe I should think twice about that. So once again, it's about having all those assets in place, and that's on the university to make sure that the protocol is correct.
I got to talk to you about Duke real quick because you know Duke better than anybody. And Filipowski is somebody that's become like a hero and a villain all at once. As a Duke legend, what advice would you give him about this moment, this platform, and the right way to handle everything?
He tripped the dude, man. Like he tripped him. The thing I hate about it, Jay Fitz, to be candid with you, is, and Kyle Filipowski is a good dude. He's a good dude navigating a lot, frankly, with NIL, with being one of the main faces of Duke basketball. And like, let's be honest about it, like there is a proclivity that fans feel like if there's a Caucasian player that plays for Duke that is talented, is good, like they're automatically heightened, right? Like JJ Redick, Christian Laettner, Greg Paulus. You can go through the litany of the names. They're heightened. And to do that, then all of a sudden I end up having to answer for all Duke players for that. And when that's not the way we played. Now, dirty things happen in the game, right? Like I'll be first. I cheated in games. I grab your jersey. I've seen Armando Bacot slip somebody with his hand and trip somebody in the game, right? But when you're at Duke and you're positioned that way, it's going to be heightened. And it fits into a narrative that the program has already had with Grayson Allen. So I think as soon as you can own it, I messed up, but I'm competitive and I just want to win, right? Get it behind you and move forward. Because the reality is that that's always going to happen at Duke. And I'll tell you too, Jay Fitz, you think it's going to happen this year? Wait until this dog, not D-O-G, D-A-W-G, comes to Duke next year in Cooper Flag. He is a dog. He plays like a dog. It's going to be all of that and more. So it's just what comes with the territory, man. You got to be prepared for it mentally, psychologically, and physically. And if things happen, you got to own it and move forward.
All right. So I'm watching you be a rock star every Saturday, but the whole world's going to see you throughout the tournament in Coca-Cola Zero Sugar commercials. Tell everybody what you're up to, dude.
Yeah, man. So you're going to see me alongside the Cameron Crazies, obviously yelling at people to miss free throws. As a guy who's missed a critical free throw for Duke to lose to Indiana, I would marry an IU grad, which continues to haunt me for my entire life in marriage. But look, you're surrounded by some of the most passionate fans in the world. And I think what Coke Zero Sugar is doing around fan work is thirsty work. You're going to see me in Phoenix engaging with the fans. I did a huge activation around Duke, Carolina. I felt like I was tailgating and drinking from, I'm not going to say what I'm drinking from, but pouring Coke Zero Sugar down fans' mouths, right? Things that you do that are close to tailgating. So I look forward to building my relationship with them. And frankly, I'm so engaged. Like, Jay, before we do College Game Day, I was trying to find, like, what's my angle to work with fans? And sometimes fans would call me a bum, right? And so now before College Game Day, what I do is I pull out a good old $100 bill and I go, okay, cool. Let's see if I'm a bum. Let's see if you're a bum. And I bring you on the court and I make you shoot and you get a chance to knock down a three for $100. And, I've only had about 7 fans actually make it out of the hundreds of fans that I brought on. So the more things we can do to engage the crowd, to make them feel like they're part of the game, but also help them realize how hard this game is, which will hopefully inflate and increase their thirsty work and have them have more Coke Zero Sugars. And that's what I'm all about, man. So I look forward to building it.
Part of the reason you're amazing covering the sport is because you love it, because you played it at such a high level, but because at the end of the day, you've never lost your fandom. It's what we share in this process. 2 rules. Next time I'm putting my gold platinum records. They're usually up behind me. I feel like I got envy here. I got award envy. Number 2, I'm going to be in Phoenix. So I'm crashing wherever the party is that Jay Will's at. I'm going to be there and I'm going to make sure that we get to hang out. My friend, congratulations on another great season. Love watching you absolutely crush it. Even though you're Duke and I'm UNLV, we have found common love together, my friend. I appreciate you. Enjoy the campaign. Everybody check out some Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Thanks, Jay Will.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.